Bhagavad Gita teaches us, first of all, that we are not this body, right? That we are eternal soul, chapter number 2. And if we are eternal soul, then the next question arises, what is my mission? What is my role? I have this body and I'm a soul, right? And then in chapter 3, Krishna explains that we have our body and we have the duties associated with our body. We have multiple roles that we need to play, and we need to play those roles in service to the Lord. What kind of roles do we know? Mother, father, sister, brother, daughter, right? So all of these roles have responsibilities. If we perform these responsibilities just for, for the satisfaction of someone or just for ourselves, what happens? We grow the false ego. People who call themselves, I'm very responsible, I'm so great, I'm so cool, I did this, I did that, right? Therefore, Krishna says to protect us from this, because false ego is, we have our real ego, our real self is the soul. I'm the soul, I'm part and parcel of the Lord. What does false ego say? I'm great, I'm perfect, I don't need anyone, I can do everything by myself. And it doesn't mean that the person is bad, it's just they're disconnected with the Lord. And they feel really terrible if something happens to their body, if something happens to their money, or anything else that they rely on, because they confuse the material with Krishna. They think, my body, it's so strong, this is God. My money, I have so much, this is God, right? So false ego separates us from the Lord. Therefore, Krishna says, do everything for me, to satisfy me. And if we do everything for Krishna in our roles, what happens? We try to do it perfect. And we stay detached. So we remain psychologically healthy, right? No false ego influence. And Krishna is happy. So this is chapter 3, and then we want to grow, right, out of this. What else can we do? When we perform our responsibilities, it's indirect service to the Lord. There is also direct service to the Lord. And Krishna explains in chapter 4, serve your guru, approach the soul who realized himself, right? It's text number 4, sorry, chapter number 4, text number 34. Who has seen the truth and learned from them submissively. But before we approach, we need to develop that, as you said, the mode of surrender, the mode of, I'm a student, I'm not the one who tells everyone what to do, but I'm the one who's willing to learn and who's willing to serve. And in that mode, we approach the guru. Because the knowledge comes from above. If we are above, no, the knowledge won't come to us, okay? We have to be in the mode of a student. I'm a part and parcel, and I depend on the Lord. And the Lord sends the teachers, such as Srila Prabhupada, to us so that we can learn the message of the Lord. So how to do it, Krishna explains in chapter 4. And then in chapter 5, it becomes karma yoga, when we know how to perform our duties, when we know that we need a teacher to progress spiritually, we need to develop surrendering mode. And now our activity in the material world transforms into the karma yoga. We still need to do things, but we connect the results with Krishna. So yoga means connection. Karma yoga means when we connect our results with the Lord. And then what happens with karma? Karma is what we enjoy or suffer, right? So karma yoga, we stop suffering. We have the results, but we stop suffering because we know on that level that everything belongs to the Lord. It's like the messenger. They pass the message. They don't suffer from the context of the letter. They just pass the message. It doesn't belong to me. I'm just the channel, right? I'm an instrument. So this is the mode. And then chapter 6 teaches dhyana yoga, meditation. Krishna says that giving, like surrendering the results is great, but meditating is even better. Why? Because it's very hard to concentrate. Our mind is very hard to control. And Arjuna is admitting it in chapter 6. He's saying, it's easier to control the wind. How can I subdue this mind? And Krishna says, yes, by the material means it's not possible. That's why I will give you the practice. And he gives us the practice. It's not Ashtanga Yoga in this Kali Yuga. It's impossible. So we practice Maha Mantra, Krishna Katha, reading, chanting together, coming to the temple, seeing the darshan. So Krishna presents himself in the form which is visible to us. Because Krishna is everywhere, but we don't see him. We have our senses are covered by the modes of material nature. So Krishna gives us the mercy. We can see him in person. We can meditate on him. Then chapter 7 is very confidential. It starts speaking about how to progress spiritually, about birth, death. In chapter 8, Krishna reveals himself further. And chapter 9, chapter 10, chapter 11, Krishna opens up. So first we start with the body. We are not this body, right? How to use the body, then how to serve, then how to grow mentally, spiritually, and then after that Krishna opens and he says, I open to my devotee. And he speaks to Arjuna, he says, since you're my devotee, you don't envy me. Who envies? The soul doesn't envy. Who envies? False ego. Yes, false ego. Yeah, because false ego thinks I'm the one who controls everything. Yeah, and it's an illusion, right? So we surrender that false ego to the Lord. Dear Lord, please take care of that false ego, everything that I have, right? So today we will continue reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11. This is an ongoing reading. Don't worry if we at chapter 11, because once we finish, we're going to start all over again. Bhagavad Gita is the sound incarnation of the Lord. Okay? So before we begin, let's pronounce the mantra. Let's give obeisances to the absolute truth by repeating all together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, let's open chapter 11, text number 4. Manyase yadzita chakyam maya drashtum iti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darsayat manam avyayam. Translation. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. So Arjuna would like to see the universal form of Krishna. And the way he's addressing Krishna is here, that, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, which means that Krishna is inconceivable for us. He is the source of everything, and it's mystical. It's impossible for us to analyze. A lot of scientists are trying to analyze Krishna, God, through the empirical ways, like through the ways of analytical study, experiments, but it is impossible. He contains all of the mysticism. He's the master of all mystical power. Purport. It is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. How do you understand the material senses? If Srila Prabhupada is speaking about material senses, it means that there are non-material senses. How do senses become material? Who knows? Yes. Huh? Conditioning. Yes. And what is the conditioning? When senses get attached. to sense objects, right? They become conditioned by the modes of material nature. Yes, so Krishna is called Hrishikesha. He is the owner of all of the senses of all living entities. Our senses belong to him. So our senses by nature, spiritual. How do they become material? Yes, when they got in touch with the material nature. They got covered. Like if you touch something dusty, what do you see? Dust, right? So our senses got covered by the material energy and they become material. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining it's impossible to understand Krishna by the means of material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. In other words, the Lord is big and we are very small. Can you please remove Bhagavad Gita from the floor? Yeah, we shouldn't be putting it on the floor. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are small and Krishna is big. We are parts of the Lord, right? And He's the whole. We are part of the whole, complete whole. We cannot see Him because of the power of the like, He's unlimited, basically. But He can reveal Himself to us if we are engaged in the service, if our senses become transcendental, okay? Every living entity is only a spiritual spark, therefore it's not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna is the devotee. Doesn't depend on his speculative strength. So here it is important notice that Srila Prabhupada is making, that a devotee does not depend on the speculative strength. What is speculative strength? How do you understand it? So that's like when we speak about speculative strength, where does it come from? The speculation. How do we speculate? Yeah, it comes from the mind. So our mind can be very strong, but it's insufficient to understand or to see the Lord. Okay? Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimate position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it's not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. In other words, we can understand Krishna only if he decides to reveal himself. No other means. It's Krishna's decision and our effort. Our effort is in service. We do our sadhana. You know what sadhana is? Sadhana means spiritual efforts. If we make one step towards Krishna, Krishna makes 1,000 steps towards us. So Krishna values sadhana. He gives us sadhana actually to make our progress faster and easier. And then, depending on how much we are dedicated, how much we develop love, he reveals himself. So this is the mercy of the Lord. The word Yogeshvara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He doesn't give Krishna orders. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes, how can we order the Lord, right? Please give me, do this to me. If you don't do this to me, I'll do this and that, right? When we speak in our heart, when we are I don't know, scared or frustrated. Oh, Krishna, why do this and that, right? So Srila Prabhupada emphasizes here, he doesn't give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obligated to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. How do you understand it practically? To surrender Krishna in Krishna's service. What does it mean for us on a practical level? What should we do? How do we know if we surrender or not surrender? Your thinking, your ideas. When sadness and happiness affects us, we will be, could you please repeat? Oh, we will remain the same. Oh, we will remain the same. Okay, yeah. We won't be affected, you're saying, right, by happiness and distress. This is surrender. So when you're saying we will be the same, do you mean that we are not... Yeah. Yeah. Yes, but what should we do? We can say it shouldn't, we can say, oh, I'm not feeling any pain, but I'm feeling, you know. What should we do practically to surrender? Huh? All the what? Say again? How do you do it? How do you dedicate to the Lord? What do you do? Like imagine you're giving instruction to someone who is not familiar with Krishna consciousness. You're saying, now you have to dedicate your actions to the Lord. And the person doesn't know. How would you explain? What should we do? And if there is no expectation, then instead of expectations, what do we have? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is detachment from the expectation. But how does the dedication take place? How? Yes. How? What is the process? So you explained, okay, I'm not expecting then, but how do I dedicate? What do I say to myself? What do I do? This is Lord's will that I'm doing. Okay. The control, right? I cannot control what happens in life. Yes, so this is the dedication actually. I cannot control what happens in life. 2.47. It doesn't depend on me. What does depend on us? Knowledge that we learn, right? Our efforts that we make, place that we choose to act, people that we choose to listen, information that we choose to learn, our choices. Choices that we make, right? Krishna gave us free will. We use our free will. The way we use it will show whether it's for us, whether it's for sense gratification, or it's for Krishna. When we dedicate it to Krishna, how will we use our free will? What kind of choices will we make? What is it? Make choices that Krishna tells us to make. What kind of choices are this? What are they? Glorify Krishna, spread the Lord's holy name, beauty, right? Krishna Katha. What else? Cook prasadam, right? Don't eat food that is not accepted by the Lord. Krishna doesn't accept food which is not prepared by devotees. He accepts only food made by devotees. We can buy anything, like cookies, and offer it on the altar. Krishna won't accept it. We have to make those cookies ourselves. We can buy fruits. They're not done by any human being. They're by nature, right? So we offer the fruits and veggies and everything, but cooking we have to do. Krishna wants only prasadam. Yeah. And the choices that are favorable for Krishna consciousness, this is surrender. It means saying no to your senses sometimes when they want something which Krishna doesn't like. 1 kilo of sweets at 12 p.m. at 12 midnight actually. Krishna doesn't want it. He says, go to bed early, rise early, right? Eat enough, don't eat too little, don't eat too much. Eat food in a mode of goodness, right? Yeah, so we need to learn the message. This is surrender, this is dedication. If we do what Krishna wants us to do, we make him happy. He's all happy. He's happy by himself. He doesn't need anything from us. He gives us Bhagavad Gita for us because he loves us. It's like a father, right? Father doesn't depend on his kids, but he loves kids. He wants to see them happy, and he wants to be in a relationship, loving relationship. So he gives us Bhagavad Gita. He says, here's the secret, act, do it, and you will be happy. Yeah, so this is the dedication, this is the surrender in Krishna consciousness. We cannot surrender to the Lord in material consciousness. Oh, Krishna, I'll do it for myself and you have to be happy. Doesn't work like this. No, in Krishna consciousness, because we are spirit souls. Thus, it's not possible for people who depend on the strength of their mental speculation to see Krishna. So we can see Krishna in our heart. Krishna guides us as Paramatma from the heart. Krishna guides us through Bhagavad Gita, through our teachers. Krishna shows himself in the form of the deities. Krishna shows himself as the sun, light, and the moon, and the taste of water. So there are a lot of ways to see and to feel Krishna. All we need to do is to develop Krishna consciousness and enjoy Krishna's beauty and relationships with him. Okay, who would like to continue text number 5? What time is it? Would you like to start? Yeah. Yeah, so Krishna contains multiple forms there again. He is unlimited, he has multiple forms, he's all beautiful, and you can see everything that exists in Krishna, in this form. So this means that this material form exists only during the cycle of, during the lifetime of the material universe. So when the material, the material world, right, which is created again and again, comes to end, then this universal form goes back into the Lord, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead remains. And then the process starts all over again. It's a big process. I won't be explaining it to you now. It's described in Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 3. Okay, and yeah, it's broad knowledge. If you are interested, I would encourage you to go and to read about it. So the spiritual sky, we're talking about the spiritual world. Supreme Personality of Godhead is in the spiritual world. But his universal form, it's the way he maintains the material world. He's not interested in the dealings of the material world. That's why he creates that form that will maintain the dealings and deal with the material creation.
As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form.
And Arjuna is asking because the devotee, yes, they are in relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in loving relationships. Arjuna is also asking Krishna to reveal his form so that others can see. Devotees are so caring that they may ask questions that they know so that others can see the answer. They may ask the Lord to do something so that others can learn, although they have the knowledge. Okay?
The universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see.
Yes, exactly. And that's the mercy of the devotee, right? What wouldn't be available, this knowledge to us if not Srila Prabhupada. So by the mercy of pure devotees, we are getting the knowledge of Krishna. Yes, so Krishna is saying that he's going to show Arjuna the manifestation of all of the demigods and that he's going to see that others couldn't see. Thank you so much. So Krishna is revealing again to Arjuna his wonderful forms, and again it's the mercy from that comes only through the pure devotee of the Lord. Text number 7. Would you like to read? Text number 7. Yes, so Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is a complete whole. Everything belongs to the Lord. That's why in the universal form you can see everything that exists. Everything movable, non-movable, everything. Purport. So Krishna says that I am the knower of the Vedanta. I give the forgetfulness and the memory. So Krishna gives all of the knowledge. He gives the memory. If we need to forget about something, Krishna also arranged this for our benefit, so we don't remember. Like we don't remember our past lives, because otherwise it will be an obstacle for us. We would be overwhelmed, right, by different feelings and attachments. So Krishna's mercy, if the devotee wants to know, right, because they are in close relationships, Krishna reveals, you want to know my material manifestation, here you go. You want to be with me in personal relationships? Okay, so that's the closeness, right? The loving exchange between the Lord and the devotee. All right, okay, next, who is behind? You okay to read? Would you like to read? Text number 8. Yes, so that's the message for us. We cannot see Krishna with our eyes. Only if Krishna gives us the spiritual vision, we will be able to see the Lord. Purport. Krishna fulfills the desires of his devotees, and he gives them the potency to, like Arjuna, right? He wanted to see Krishna, but he didn't have the vision, so Krishna gives him the vision. Krishna gives us the opportunities. Krishna gives us everything we need when we are serving him. We shouldn't be worrying about anything. Krishna will give everything. All we need is to understand that he is the source. Not my mind, not my strength, not myself, as we say, oh, I have to do this and this in order to achieve this. Yes, of course we have to do, but we have to admit there is a difference between our action and who is the source. We are acting, but we are not the source. The source is Krishna. So, oh Krishna, how do we connect, right? The source and the what comes from that source. I'm doing this because of you. I have this opportunity because of you. I miss this and this. Please, if you will so, right? If there is, like, if you desire so, if it's good for my spiritual growth, please give this to me. And then in that way, we also stay in our constitutional position, that we depend on the Lord. We don't depend on anything else, only on him. Second paragraph. Friends of Krishna and friends of Krishna, they never cared whether he is rich or he is strong or he is big or he is small. They just love him. Yashoda didn't want to know Krishna as the universal form. She got scared when she saw the universal form, the universe in his mouth, right? And Krishna saw that, and Krishna fulfilled her desire right away. Okay, no, I'm not showing it to you anymore. I'm just your child, right? So, and that's love, which is bhakti, right? It's the most valuable for Krishna. When we love him, not because he's giving, not because he's so opulent, not because he's so powerful, but just because we love him. That's all. This is unconditional loving.